Hey everyone and welcome. I'm going to be going through today patch 14.1, brand new season for League. As always, leave a like, leave a subscribe down below, and I've got links linked in the description. So let's go ahead and get into this. Welcome to season 2024, split 1 kicking off quickly. Let's see, big gameplay update. Void Grubs, Void Mites, Voidborns, Monsters, 3 Barons. Map changes to every lane and jungle. 100 item changes. Boy, this is going to be a big one. So buff to Hui. Looks like he's getting one. I don't know if he needs one. I still think people could probably use a little bit more time on him, but it's interesting. That's the only buff that we have coming in this season. Alright, so we're in NA. Let's go down and find NA. You guys probably already know this, but it's going to start tomorrow. 7 Pacific Standard, so that's 10 a.m. Eastern Time. For those of you that are in the same time zone as me. Obviously, you guys just go ahead and check out, find your own if you are not in NA at the moment. See, the rewards are going to be Victorious Tryndamere. Victorious Tryndamere. Okay, I don't really play him. I don't remember the last time I played Tryndamere, but hey, you know, at least getting a little something, right? And definitely giving an old champion some love. Void gameplay changes. Void Grubs, Mites, and Hunger of the Void. Oh, these things are cool looking. This looks like a lot of damage. We get some brand new residents moving into the Baron Pit this season. The Grubs and the Mites. They're a new Horde objective, taking the place of the first Rift Herald. Okay, so we're only going to have one Rift Herald every game. I think that's a good change. The idea was to provide tower pressure instead of the Dragon Buff's ramping threat, but spread it out more evenly. Gradual persistent power instead of instant like Shelly had. Multiple spawns. Nature means that mid or top laners who have pushed out their lane can sneak one without having to commit the full time it would take to clear an entire epic objective. Okay, cool. They spawn, 3 from spawn 5 minutes into the game. Each Void Grub spawns 4 Void Mites every 12 seconds in combat. The Grubs can respawn once per game on a 4-minute timer, okay? And they respawn independently, so you don't have to take all 3, you can literally just take one. They give other Void Grubs 25% max health and 25% missing health shield. Decays over 10 seconds after a nearby one dies. And it gives you a stack of the Hunger of the Void, causing your non-proc attacks to deal bonus true damage to structures over 4 seconds. Okay, so that's going to be like helping out like Demolish. It's going to be good if you're winning lane for sure. It doesn't sound very good if you're losing. Damage scale with the number of Void Grubs slain. Rate of 4 for melee, 3 for range, true damage every half second per stack. Once your team hits 5 stacks of the buff, you're going to spawn 1 Void Mite to help when attacking towers. Okay. At 6 stacks, the amount of Void Mites is 2. If they're summoned, they have the same stats as a melee with less health but more move speed, so they're really running. They despawn at 13:45 or 55 if they're in combat, so Rift Herald will come in at 14 minutes. Okay, that makes sense. Gives you 6 minutes between start of Rift and Baron coming out. Right, looks like 500 attack speed for the Grubs. Ranged, only 250 health, plus 250 per minute of game time. I wonder if that starts after they spawn or not. Probably not would be my guess, but I'm not positive there. Gives you 75 experience plus numbers. Not going to go through all that and calculate it out. The Void Mites, 20 health, 6 attack damage, both scaling with game time, 2 attacks. They attack twice, so they're hitting you for 12 damage a second, but there's going to be 4 of them at a time. So it's like ranged minions, it feels like. New Rift Herald looks sick. Okay. Not a surface level change because we got some change under the hood. Let's see. One player can right click the Herald to hop on Shelly. Right clicking in any direction while channeling onto Herald will allow it to pick where the Herald starts charging. While charging, players can steer the Herald. That sounds so fun, like a Scion. That's so cool. Gets 1 use of charge when summon, and it's consumed as soon as the player gets onto the Herald or when it automatically charges the tower. So it probably has more range than it had previously, would be my guess. If it kills one, you get another charge. Sick. Okay, so if it kills the tower, you can move it on to the inner tower. Charge is 14 seconds, starting at 150, ramping to 600. Increased by 75% when charging toward an enemy tower. The range on that is important. I'm not sure what it is. Charge ends upon collision, reducing the Herald's health by 2/3, ejecting the player away from the charge. Okay, so you're not getting thrown into their tower. If it hits a live tower, it throws you probably out of turret range. I think 700 is out of range, but I'm not positive. If you steer it through enemies, does 250 true damage and knocks them airborne. Okay, Yasuo buff. Okay. If the player steers a herald into a tower, the bonus 2k damage will be dealt to the structure, and the player gains a temporary shield. Plus more with the Hunger of the Void from the Void Grubs. Rift Herald has Baron's Gaze, so okay, so it takes less damage, so you want to have 2 people to take it at least, which is pretty common, especially the higher elo you go. Powered Recall. Holder gains instead. All allied champions who help kill Herald get a single Empowered Recall. That's nice. Yeah, I mean, you probably, if you have it anyway, you're only using it twice, maybe 3 times, so giving, up to 3, 4, 5 times for killing one Rift Herald is pretty solid. Especially if it's going to be around 14 minutes, I think it was. It's going to set you up at a pretty decent time to go to the next objective, get back to lane, whatever it will be, since it's going to take a little longer to kill. It's like a lot stronger, a lot more health, a little bit more experience, not really important. And gold's the same. Voidborn Sentinel, Brownback, and Scuddler. Once Baron gets on the Rift, next time blue and red spawn, they are the Voidborn Sentinel. Looks sick. And get 30% more health, more durability, harder to take down. Once slain, it gives their buffs to the entire team. Everyone alive gets it on your team. That's crazy. Their buffs are getting some changes. Let's see. Blue buff gets 10 flat haste. Crest of Cinders. Red buff gets a little bit less regen, it looks like. It's capping it at level 6 versus scaling all the way up to 11 and giving that 5%, which I think is probably good if you're going to give it to everybody on the team. The buffs going void when no longer transferred to opponents upon the owner's death. Okay. That's good, so that you don't... Yeah, so after a team fight, not everybody has a buff from the other team. That could be pretty busted. Draconic Sentinel and Brownback will give the champion the Slade a version of their buff and drop a duplicate. Okay, so after it levels up, after the first spawn, you're going to get... I think Draconic Sentinel happens after 2 dragons have taken. It's going to do the normal thing where it drops 1 for you and 1 for your teammate. Starting at 20 minutes, once slain, the Draconic, Brownback, and Sentinel will respawn as their Voidborn come. Okay, we just saw that. Similarly, after 20, should be Voidborn Scuddler. When slain, Voidborn Scuddler will send out a massive Scryer's Bloom effect. Cool. Revealing all champions and wards in a large surrounding area. And they're reduced to 1 HP. That's cool, like the Kimtech Drake changes. Baron. Been a while since you got a visual update. Yeah, this looks dope. What a cool change. I really like this one here with the eye open. Let's see, Baron dance a little time. 3/4. It's Hunting Baron. Calls a pillar of lightning over the nearest enemy after 7/10 of a second they begin to strike, delayed by 1/10 of a second per strike. They deal 15% current health damage. Wow. Baron summons Rift towards the All-Seeing Baron summons Rift towards the 2 furthest enemies he can see within 2,200 units. These last for 3 seconds and deal 150 magic damage on the first hit and 50 after. Territorial Baron reaches out after a second and a half, grabs all enemies in a cone, pulls them in, and deals damage. Okay. Movement speed, excellent. That's what he needs. Alright. Baron terrain. Okay, so the terrain is going to change based on which Baron it is. So, Hunting Baron looks normal. Territorial Baron. Okay, so that's going to kind of create 2 sides for you to contest, especially for steals. All-Seeing has a red side entrance. Interesting. Very interesting. So if you come in the river here, you're kind of stuck in a pit. If you're fighting Baron in here, you're really stuck. Like you're gonna have to dip out one way, but if you get collapsed upon, you are just in there with the Baron. All right. Terrain changes. All right, I haven't looked into these before, but look at top side. Okay, the brushes, it's like a pixel brush now. Top lane has, it looks a lot harder to gank from here and here. This brush can't be hidden in. Easier to ping out. It's a lot better for a ward placement, but easier to clear, I suppose. All in all, not too much different, but I think definitely for the red side, for the top side, maybe easier dives, or maybe not, just since it's not here and the all the way back here was the other way to get in. Kind of two clear-cut zones to get in, but there's not really an escape route like there used to be where you could go down, you could go back, and you could go forward. Reducing the ability for other lanes to affect top in the earlier game lane. The one, okay, so making more of an island. Got it. Yeah, pixel brush I think is a great idea. And let's see. Pushing back a Rift Herald should help make the lane easier. Wow, they moved the brush back. That is a really wide lane. And if the river's technically here and you're still in lane, you're going to be able to start like pulling your minions over that way and beating the river and get that bonus damage from the rune. That's really cool. Say the lane with the most access for ganking on live. Zars and Brands and card that says they couldn't fight anymore because it's so easy. So now junglers have to show themselves a lot sooner too if they're trying to gank through here. So you can still come up, you can wrap around. Wow, look how open it is around the towers now. That's crazy. You definitely have to go through tower range if you want to come in that way, but it is a unique new angle. And Zac, I think, can still make pretty good use of this. Zac still has this angle, jumping from here, but now I can jump from back here and probably stay out of turret vision. Right, make mid lane safer was the idea, so that we can have more control mages, would be my guess. Yeah, to be more mage forward and less assassins. I think assassins will still be fine, but it's about the jungles. Bot side. This right here, this brush is enormous. The fact that this is not a wall the whole way is huge. So now I think ganking is a lot more even on both sides rather than it being easier to gank through this tri-bush and not having a good way without going through tower over here. I think that's a good change, but I do think that ADCs are probably going to suffer from this. They're going to have to be really careful. But at the same time, now this ward, like right there, huge. It's going to cover all three parts of this. It's going to cover a good part of the river vision. You might be able to still sneak in if you stay close to this wall, but you don't know if the ward's in the pixel brush because that's super easy to place. They could have one on the tri-bush. So if you have one here and one here, you probably have all the vision you need. Very cool though. The jungle. Alright, let's see this. Nice little bush change here. I like that's not a whole wall. I like the room for access for moving around. I think with the wind soul, the cloud drake soul, there's gonna be a lot of unique interactions going through here. Maybe champions like Skarner, I know he's getting changed, but he can make some more use out of this now. Yeah, very cool, very cool. All right, Infernal Drake now. Interactions for the walls. So Infernal Cinders spawn randomly on the map in small groups with a higher likelihood of spawning towards the losing team. Picking up a naturally spawned Infernal Cinder gives a burst of move speed and Infernal Cinder stack, which grants 0.3 ability haste per stack. On depth, you can have up to 5, with some of the remainder being dropped on the ground and the rest destroyed. Okay, so that other people can pick them up. Cinders dropped from player's death do not grant the burst of movement speed, which makes sense. You shouldn't die and then your teammate be right there and pick up some move speed for nothing. Hoy's just getting a little bit of armor, but 3 base armor is pretty good, especially since one of the biggest issues he has is dealing with like Zed, dealing with Yasuo, people who can get onto him and then just destroy him. He has pretty low health, it seems. He's just low defense, at least. I don't know exactly what the health stats are, but that armor level is really low. 3 should make it a lot easier for him. He should be not useless anymore is the hope. Okay, jungle damage changes. Champion bonus damage to non-epic monsters is down. Pet damage per second. True damage 20 to 90. So like plus 10% bonus at D12 AP. Looks like we're going to do more true damage from pets. And their cap is increased based on level. Okay. So it looks like pets are going to do a little bit more so more champions can clear. And the champions themselves are going to do less bonus damage. So yeah, this should just create diversity would be my guess. Closing the gap between fast clears like Graves and Karthus and slow clears like every tank. Alright. I like that. I like that a lot. Items. Getting rid of mythics. That's huge. I'm probably not going to go through all the items. I'm just going to check out, see if any that look really interesting. But with over 100, there's no way I can go through all of them here. Summarize the main goal of the update is to reduce the power of items that were previously mythic by converting them to legendary and making X-mythic items less powerful, which will allow everyone's unique gameplay to shine. Ensure that each class is properly supported, like assassin items being early game skewed or giving mages better gold scaling to make each spellcast feel more important to players by lowering the overall amount of haste items give. Okay, less haste is important. So Riftmaker down, Malignance, 2800 gold, last chapter Phoenix 700 gold, 80 AP, 20 ability haste, 600 mana, and Scorn. Get 20 ability haste for your ultimate. Okay, that's cool. Hate Fog, whenever you damage any champion with your ult, burn the ground beneath them for 3 seconds, dealing 60 plus 6 AP magic damage every second, reducing their MR by 1 per user level for as long as they're on the burning ground. Radius increases based on the damage done, with a max radius of 550, which is like an ADC auto attack. Okay, cool. Very cool. Luden's Companion, 3k gold, last chapter alternator, gives 90 AP, 20 ability, has 600 mana, could be a starter item. Gain a shot charge every 3 seconds, maximum of 6, and damage abilities consume all of them to deal 40 plus 8% AP to the target and 1 additional target per charge. If they're not insufficient targets in range, for each remaining shot, repeat the damage on the primary target, dealing 35% of the damage. That's huge. That is a big amount of damage. I can see that on Hui, who's just got, small buff, especially with his QW. Be really good. Storm Surge. 100 AP, 10 Magic Pen, 5% move speed. Echo maybe? Dealing 35% of a champion's max health within 3 seconds. Apply Storm Surge and guarantees their 25 move speed for 2 seconds. After 2 seconds, Storm Surge strikes the target with lightning, dealing 120 to 260 plus 40% AP magic damage to them. If they die to the lightning or before it strikes, it detonates immediately in a large ground, and you get 30 gold. Okay, so it's like a Mage's Collector. Rocket Belt, seems about the same. Haunting Guise, 1300 Amphim. Okay, this is what builds into Liandry's now, so it's gonna have like a mini Liandry's. I think this could be a really good for a lot of tanks like Maokai, who's going into Monographs, like Zac. You can pick up just a Haunting Guise now and get some of that bonus damage that you're dealing, and then just continue into a tank build. Hextech Alternator. Okay, Liandry's. Damage capped to monsters per second is dropped, so taking Brand out a little bit. Though, I mean, you're already pretty far into the game when you got your Liandry's. You're probably at least 12 minutes in. Looks good. Horizon Focus, Seekers, Crypt Bloom, 2850. 60 AP, 10 ability health, 30 magic pen. Okay, so it's like a void staff item. Passive, Life from Death. Whenever you get a takedown on an enemy champ within 3 seconds of damage to them, create a healing nova on their location that heals allies for 50 plus 50% AP. Interesting. So it's moving some of the power of your damage into healing your team. So it's like a team fight centered void staff. Okay. Blasting Wand, 435 to 8. It was already 850 in the world. Amp Tomb is cheaper. Okay, more cost efficient, 35% more gold, 2.5 minions. Neostellar draw, more AP. Okay, giving some more mage scaling. Sonya's a little bit more expensive, but has a needlessly large rod. 120 ability power now, but no ability haste. I like this item. I like this item a lot right now. That seems good. Banshees, 500 gold more expensive. Also 120 AP, more magic resist. Very interesting. Very interesting change. Verdant Barrier. Verdant Barrier now gives the spell shield on a 60-second cooldown, so it's twice the cooldown for Banshees, but it's no longer stacking magic resist over minions. Okay, Archangels getting more AP, more ability haste, more mana. Transforms into, yeah, so about the same, just a little bit stronger. And no longer has health on Seraphs and Burius, which I don't know why I did it in the first place. But looks like the damage is better. Rabadons gives 140. Wow, this is going to be a very strong item. Okay, increase your AP by 35% though. So cutting down a little bit on the Rabadon scaling, trying to increase diversity, I would guess. 40% magic pen for voice staff still leaves it 10% above the new item that we saw earlier. Roa is cheaper, but isn't as strong. Taking away the movement speed. Looks like the rest is about the same. I think that's fine. Lichbane getting a little buff, 100 AP now. Still got ability haste and move speed. After using an ability, your next attack is enhanced with 75% base AD plus 50% AP magic damage. After using the ability, your next attack is enhanced with 100% base AD and 50%. Okay, same 50%. So a little bit stronger when you have it as a first item would be my guess. Or if you're somebody who's building like AP and AD, maybe like an Akali or Katarina could use this better now. And it grants 50% attack speed while available. So it goes well with Nashor's too. They want to keep the Nashor's Lichbane in. Nashor's getting a little bit less ability power and it's a little cheaper. Morello's a lot cheaper, 800 gold cheaper. Has 15 ability haste, takes off the magic pen, and takes off the health. I think that's fine. Honestly, that's not why I bought this item. I didn't buy it for the pen, and I didn't buy it for the health. I bought it for heal cut. And so now 2200 gold for heal cut, and still getting 90 AP, that's really solid. It's an Oblivion Orb, Fiendish Codex, 500 gold. That's a solid item now. All right, going into fighters. No more Gore Drinker, Divine Sunderer, Silvermere Dawn, or Iron Spike Whip. Okay, interesting. Hullbreaker, got a Tunneler in it, and the Rectrix. These are new items for sure. Their 5th attack against champions deals more damage. Nearby allied siege and super minions gain bonus armor and MR. Okay, so that's one of the unseen buffs, or not buffs, but benefits of having Hullbreaker is having the siege and super minions be stronger, harder to kill. Bork looks about the same. Clawing Shadows. First basic attack against an enemy champion slows them by 30% for 1 second. Okay. Phage gives the movement speed. Phage is solid. Eclipse, 2800 gold, 70 AD. A lot of AD for the 2800 gold. Ancient with 2 separate. Deals 8%, 4% max health bonus physical damage, or max health bonus physical damage, and grants you a shield. Okay. Spear of Shojin has been really strong in the last patch. It looks, let's see, spell hits grants stacks. Your spells deal 3% increased damage for each stack. Okay. Ravenous Hydra. Ravenous Crescent. So this is still Hydra. You get life steal for the cleave damage. No, it's the active. The active is back for Ravenous Hydra. Thank goodness. This is one of my favorite interactions that's gone now, and that's probably going to replace when they took out the Iron Spike Wick. So I wonder if Tiamat has the active on it or not. And then Titanic's back the way it used to be, where you could auto attack reset to get another big cleave on it. I love those changes. And Tiamat does have the active. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I like this item way better than the Iron Spike Whip. I never was a fan of that item. It felt kind of clunky. It fit well with abilities and whatnot, just not in the same way that a Tiamat always has. Let's see. Stridebreaker. Stridebreaker. I thought they said Stridebreaker was gone. Am I wrong? I am wrong. It was Gore Drinker only that's gone. So what does Stridebreaker do now? Phage, Pickaxe, Dagger for 50 AD, 20 attack speed, 400 health. Still has the slow on the active. Passive Temper. Dealing physical damage gets you move speed. Okay. Experimental Hex Plate. Alright. 3k gold. It's Tunneler, Noon Quiver, 600 gold, 55 AD, 20 attack speed, 300 health. Gets 300 ultimate ability haste. Okay. Axiom Mark for bruisers. Then you get 35 attack speed, 15% bonus move speed for 7 seconds. It could be like a Camille item, something like that. Jax. Sundered Sky. 55 AD, 300 health, 15 ability haste, and your first attack against a champion will critically strike and heal for 140% base AD. Wow. Plus 6% missing health. So they're not dead yet. When you think they're dead, they are not dead yet if they are a bruiser with that item. Here's the Tunneler. We've been seeing it. Longsword Ruby 350 gives you 15 AD, 250 health. Okay, so it's similar to a Phage. Steel Sigil, 1200 gold. Longsword Cloth Armor, 550 gold for 15 AD, 30 armor. Seems pretty good. What's in no longer has attack damage and now has tenacity. Recurve Bow, Negatron Cloak Dagger, 900 gold, more attack speed, more magic resist, no AD, added tenacity, attack supply 15 to 80% bonus magic damage on hits. That's the old one. Now do 1580 bonus, so they don't get the movement speed anymore. There's a lot of other ways to get movement speed though now, and I think that this is overall a better item on bruisers, maybe like tanks with on hits, anybody with on hit, but just less so on ADs in general. So you're not going to see the Ashe running this anymore, which I think is a good change. Triforce. It's now a Sheen, Phage, Heartbound Axe, and 33 gold. I love the 33 gold. That's how it always used to be. Or it might have been 3 gold at one point, I'm not sure. 45 AD. Spellblade. Looks like the same. Attacking gives 20 move speed instead of the 3-fold strikes, which I think is better anyway. To let it be what it used to be, which is like a better Sheen. Okay, Black Cleaver is a little cheaper. Just a cheaper combined cost. No changes otherwise. More AD, less haste. Your Carve, deal physical damage, reduces their armor by 4%, stacking 6 times. A little bit less armor shred. And movement speed is just 20 move speed for 2 seconds after a hit instead of having to do with how many times you hit them. Sterix now uses Tunneler instead of Phage because it's not. I imagine it's not going to give movement speed. It gives 20 tenacity. Okay, very nice. Okay, so below 30%, 80% health shield, decaying over 4.5 seconds and gain 10% size instead of getting 25 size and 30 tenacity because you're getting 20 all the time now instead of just a bonus after you had popped the ship, which I didn't even know was a thing, to be honest. So no change there for me. I didn't even know it gave tenacity, if I'm being honest with you. Ooh, ouch. Alright, we're going on to tank and support items. No more Chem Tank. That item was never bought. Radiant Virtue is gone. Huge change. Gargoyle Stoneplate gone. I feel like they removed the identity of that, so I'm okay with it. Aegis of the Legion gone. Even Shroud gone. Radiant Virtue again gone. Lifewell Pendant. I imagine they just said these are the tank and these are the support, and that's why they put Virtue twice. Hollow Radiance. 2800 gold. Bommies with Spectre's Cowl and gold. 600 health, 40 MR. Okay, a Bombies item that's not Sunfire. It's the MR version of this. I like that a lot. Killing an enemy gets 20 magic damage in the area around them. Cool. Cool, very cool. Unending Despair. Chain Vest, Kindle Gem. Let's see, 400 health, 55 armor, 10 ability haste. While in combat with champions, every 7 seconds, deal 30 to 50 bonus magic damage to nearby enemy champions. Healing for 250%. Okay, so this is. You're healing for that 250% damage dealt. So every 7 seconds, healing by what is that? 150 to 250 health. Okay, that we'll have to look at that again once the season's started. Kanik Ruckern, 2,900 gold, Spectres and Negatron, 750, 400 health, 80 MR. That's a lot of magic resists. Gonna need those items. I wonder if those stack. I didn't check those earlier, but I wonder if the magic pen from the new item and Void Staff stack. So you can get up to like 70% magic pen. Mage Bane, after not taking damage for 12 seconds, gain a magic shield for 20% of your max health. Like a Galio W. Like a Galio W passive. Heartsteel. Let's see. Looks like it's just Heartsteel. Trailblazer. Formerly known as Speed with Friends. Winged Moonplate and a Chain Vest. 250 health, 40 armor, 5% bonus speed. And when you're moving, build up to 20 bonus move speed. At maximum stacks, you leave a trail. 50% of your move speed. Your next stack discharges the built up move speed. And if you're at max speed, slows by 50% for 1 second. Okay. It's like a bit of an engage tool, bringing your team in. The support can definitely buy that. Yeah, Zeke's Locket. No longer grants nearby allies armor and MR. Because now you have the shield again. Shield's back. I'm a big fan of that. I love the shield. Oh, that was already there. My apologies. A little bit less ability haste. A smoother way in. The Life Well pendant, not a fan of that anyway. So I think solid. A little easier to build into. Slightly weaker, but I think the build path is important. Warmogs gives movement speed instead of ability haste now. It's a little bit more expensive with less health. Okay, if you have at least 11 hearts, now you have to have at least 1,300 bonus health. Restore health per second. If damage hasn't been taken, okay, both within 6 seconds. 3 for non-champion. So you're restoring health and gaining 10% movement speed. I think that's solid. Janna item again. Not Janna, Soraka. But I think a lot more tanks can utilize the movement speed. It's kind of like, Garen already kind of has that passive. Jaksha doesn't have ability haste anymore. Build the path is a little different. A lot more armor and MR, a little bit less health. Deadman's strength of the movement speed so long effects on you is reduced by 30%. That's really good because the Deadman's play, the issue is there are so many slows in the game that when you got that, a slow still slowed you too much to do what you're trying to do. Just has a little bit less armor on Randuin's. Force of Nature. Ooh, there are a lot of items in this. A little bit less MR, same thing. Iceborne, cheaper. Cheaper to put together. Sheen, Kindle Gem, so just a Ruby Crystal because there's less health on it, less ability, haste. Using ability, your next attack is enhanced with 100% base attack damage physical, creates frost. Enemies that move are slowed by 20%. Plus 4% per 1,000 health melee, or plus 10% plus 2% per 1,000 health if you're ranged. Okay. Slow field doesn't last as long. If you're melee, it's stronger. If you're ranged, it's the same. Priority target, slowed for double. And they took off the priority target getting slowed for double. Winter's Approach and Fimble Winter's just cheaper. A little bit less health on Sunfire. And, yep, they did change it. Taking or dealing damage, you're going to start burning around you. Okay, it stacks up to 6 times for a 60% increase. Times for an increase. Dealing 12 instead of 15 flats. That's a little bit weaker. So they're definitely trying to push some of the new items. They don't want everybody to default to their old item builds. Kind of go through and change it up a bit. Knight's Vow no longer has base health regen. Different build path, a little bit less health, a lot more armor. Same passive active. Okay, we're fine with that. Frozen Heart, cheaper, but less armor. I think solid in general. This item doesn't get built a ton. I think it has a lot of room to be built and a lot more when it's that cheap. And supports can buy it. It doesn't have to, you know, a Rel can buy this, an Alistar can buy this and not feel horrible. They probably want some more health, but this can be like a second item and they can actually finish it before the game ends. Assassin items. All right, let's read this here. In previous seasons, 80 assassins tend to purchase 1 or 2 lethality items, and then going into the other options, like fighter items, we want them to be highly lethal but highly fragile. So the goal is to remove some of the more potent defensive tools, like Duskblade and Eclipse, and open up to stronger snowballing. We've also removed their ability to stack Black Cleaver and Last Whisper items so that assassins don't end up like premium killers and bruisers and reasonably effective against tanks. So we want armor to be good into them. So lethality is 1 armor pin per 1 point of lethality. Okay, so lethality is an armor pin now. We don't really need the name lethality anymore. No more Duskblade, no more Prowlers. Voltaic Cyclosword. Okay, cool name. Brutalizer. Brutalizer's back with the Kirches Shard and 863 gold. Weird cost. 55 AD, 18 lethality, 15 ability haste. Moving or attacking gives you the energized attack, dashes, and stealth stack energized 75% faster. Cool. Your energized attack applies 100 bonus physical damage, slows for 99% for 0.75 seconds, only 20% for ranged users. Okay, so this is the new Prowler's Claw. Profane Hydra, 3400. It's got a Tiamat and a Brutalizer. 60 AD, 18 lethality, 20 ability haste. Deal 80% of total attack damage to nearby enemies. Increase to 120 total AD. 10 enemies below 30%. And you have, that's on the active. So good for finishing. And then you have a cleave. That's nice. So assassins can get a little bit of wave clear. So I think maybe Pyke in the mid lane can come back and get a little bit of resurgence. Hubris, cool name. 3k gold, Sword of Dirt, Caulfields, 900 gold for 60 AD, 18 lethality, 15 ability base, passive ego. When you kill an enemy champion, you're granted a statue of yourself, and if you already have a statue, it upgrades. When a champion that you have damaged within the last 3 seconds dies, gain 10 plus 1 per rank of statue, attack damage for 60 seconds. Okay. I imagine this 60 seconds resets after you've killed someone, but I think like as fights go on, you get stronger and stronger, is what that means. Opportunity, 2700 gold. Sword of Dirk, the Rectrix, 800 gold, 55 AD, 18 lethality, and 6% move speed. I like move speed. Preparation passive. After being out of combat for 8 seconds, gain lethality, lasts for 3 seconds after dealing damage. So you come out of a brush and you one-shot someone. If they die within 3 seconds of damage to them, gain 150 decaying move speed for 1.5 seconds. So get a phase rush if you killed somebody when you tried to assassinate them. Rectrix is a longsword in 550. It gives you 20 AD and 4 move speed. So longsword is 15 AD, I believe. So you're paying for move speed here for the most part. Brutalizer, 1337. That's why that weird cost earlier, because it used to be 1337 before. Glowing Moat Pickaxe, 212 gold, 25 AD, 10 ability haste, 8 lethality. I like having an item that gives lethality that's not Dirk in the game, and it doesn't need to be that massive. That's 8 lethality, 8 armor pen. Srelda's has a Brutalizer now. Gives 20 plus 11% lethality armor pen. Okay. So it gives a little bit of mixed. It's going to be less good against tanks. That's from that change they were talking about earlier, what they wanted to do. So it's not such a tank killer, but it is a good bruiser killer. Serrated Dirk is cheaper. Gives a little bit less AD, but still has lethality, I imagine. Youmuu's is a decent bit cheaper, 400 gold cheaper, but it doesn't have an ability haste anymore. You're getting 20 instead of 25% movement speed and ghosting, and 40% moves people out of combat. Spectral shard mechanic has been removed. That's fine. That's a good item still. Very cheap. That's an early item spike. 2,700 gold. Very early item spike. Axiom they just put a brutalizer in instead of a Dirk. And instead of plus 4% per 1 lethality, so instead of 40% lethality, it's plus 30% for your ultimate cooldown. It's definitely worded a lot better than it used to be. Total cost from 23 to 26. No, increase from 23 to 26, so it's more expensive. Gonna have a Caulfield's now because it's gonna have no hat ability, so it's gonna give more lethality. Let's see, from disabling wards and doing 2-1. Reveal traps, disable wards. Attacks do 3-2. Okay. I was under the impression that melee already did 3 and ranged already did 2. So I guess I'm confused there. I didn't know that was anything being changed. Serpent's Fang, pretty much the same. Following items have been removed. Rage Knife and Gale Force. Oh, I loved Gale Force. I thought Gale Force was fun. Terminus. Recur BF's Dagger, 40 AD, 30% attack speed. Attacks give 30 magic damage on hit. Okay. Juxtaposition. Alternate between light and dark on hits. Each attack, lights give you armor and MR, up to 15 to 25. Dark give you armor pin and magic pin. So you keep fighting and you get stronger as the fight goes on. I think might be an issue with Tank Varus there. Gensu's is cheaper. Let's look at the change here. Attacks through 30% bonus damage on hit and no longer has crit strike conversion. Okay. Closer to the old one, a little cheaper to make up for you losing that bonus damage. Basic attacks grant 8% attack speed, stacking 4%, max of 32 attack speed. And Phantom Hit with Kraken Slayer. Kraken Slayer now works with Gensu's again. Okay, it can be used as a tank killer. Also gives you a little bit of mixed damage since that's magic damage on hit. IE gives less crit, 40%, might be big. Might be big. Navori, a little bit less damage. Transcendence your abilities. Your attacks reduce your non-ability attacks by 12% instead of 15%. Guardian Angel. Okay, because that's what they were saying. They were taking mythics down to legendaries. GA. BF Sword Chain. And Stopwatch, I heard they're getting rid of Stopwatch. BF Sword Steel Sigil, 950 gold. So more armor, more attack damage. Restore 50%, and you get all your mana back instead of 30% of your mana back. So it can be better early, because you're not really having mana issues later on in the game, and 30% is enough to do all your shit. But 100% now says I can buy that as a first item if I need damage and I need armor. First or second, maybe. Mortal Shield Bow. See, Pickaxe, Cloak, Vamp Scepter. It's same. Slightly more life speed. Bigger shield. 30 health, bigger shield. And no attack speed bonus on it. Okay. Yeah, okay. Kraken, a little bit less attack speed. Lord Doms, a little bit more AD. And let's see, 22 bonus, 15% bonus, damage, greater health, Some damage when their health is greater than 2,000. So you get it earlier. You get that 15% bonus physical damage earlier, but you don't get as much if they're super tanky. If they're Scion and Cho'Gath and have been stacking all game. PD, 30% attack speed. That's a lot more movement speed. Wow. Attacks grant ghosting automatically. Give a stack 7% attack speed. They don't give you the extra bonus movement speed. Okay, so more movement speed all the time. You get ghosting and more attack speed while you're hitting. I like that item. I think it probably is going to feel pretty good now. You're going to feel that movement speed. RFC, more attack speed. Okay. Static Shiv. Can I get an energized attack? All right, let's see how they change the energized attack. Chain Lightning deals 100 to 180 based on level, taking away the AP ratio. So it is not a mage item. No more LeBlanc. No more Ahri with Static Shiv. Storm Razor, 100 gold more expensive, 5 more AD. Okay. Collector, 5 more AD. 18 to 16 unchanged. Not sure what that means. Okay. Essence Reaver, a little bit more expensive, period. Okay. Support items and quests. Great opportunity to transform the support quest item system. Old support items didn't bring a lot of customization. While being powerful, they weren't very satisfying. Okay. Universal support item that branches into 5. Okay, let's hear it. World Atlas. This is your support item. 500 gold to transform into a runic compass and gain the ability to hold wards. Okay, got gold regeneration. Or gold generation. Alright, let's see what we got. Runic compass. So at 500 gold to get this. Our support quest, let's get it. Transform it into a runic compass. Gain the ability to hold wards. Okay, so let's say how we get it. Gain a charge every 18 seconds of 3 charges while near an allied champion. Consume a charge to gain gold via the following methods. Damage, killing a minion, Bounty of Worlds. Okay, so here are the upgrades when you've reached that support quest 1,000 gold. 100 health, 50 mana and health regen, 5 gold per 10 seconds. Almost the same. It's an in-between state that allows the item to upgrade into any of the 5 support item upgrades. Once upgraded, it serves its purpose. Okay. So these are the same thing, but this says, you've opened your chest, pick your reward. All upgrade items will share the same stats of the 200 health, 75% mana and health regen, 5 gold, but with the new bonus. So let's do opposition. Blessing on the Mountain. Become blessed and reduce incoming champion damage by 35 for melee, 25 for range, lingering for 2 seconds after taking damage. When it breaks, unleash a shockwave around you that slows enemy champions by 50% for 1.5 seconds. Okay, engage tank. Solstice Slay. Slowing or immobilizing an enemy champion grants you and a nearby ally with the lowest amount of health 120 bonus health and 90 move speed for 4 seconds. 20-second cooldown. Okay, that's for trading. Definitely for trading. You're going to need a slow or an immobilization, but pretty much every support has one of those 2 things. Even, like Senna. 120 bonus health, 90 movement speed. Use it in a trade, get out. Using the trade. So probably if you have maybe some disengage. Blood Song, after using the ability, your next attack is enhanced with 150 base AD on hit. If the target is a champion, apply exposed weakness, increasing their damage taken by 12% if you're melee, 8% if you're ranged for 6 seconds. That's pretty cool. Okay. Make somebody weaker. And it's a Spellblade passive. So it's after using an ability. So it's the same as like a Sheen. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm not sure who that'll be good on right now. I'm sure a lot of champions can utilize it. I just don't know exactly how that's going to look in game. But I imagine a tank that uses spells could probably get a lot of use out of it. Not someone like Alistar who jumps right in. He'll probably want that first one, the Celestial Opposition. Maybe like a Rakan, jump in, use your Q in a second later, dash back. I don't know. Dream Maker, gain a blue dream bubble and a purple dream bubble every 8 seconds. Healing or shielding. Another ally blows both dream bubbles to them and empowers them for 3 seconds. Blue gives them 140 reduced incoming damage on next hit. Purple grants them 90 magic bonus damage on the next hit. Okay, this is your enchanters. Soraka, Lulu, Janna. Void Explosion. Dealing ability damage to a champion causes an explosion at their current location that damages the target and nearby enemies, dealing 50 plus 3% max health magic damage capped at 300 against monsters. 50 plus 3% max health magic damage every 9 of 6 seconds. At their current location, so it hits everything around. Zax's Realm Spike. I imagine that's for poke champions. Don't quote me, but it sounds like for poke. Okay, enchanter items. I'm glad they're doing something with enchanters. I don't like when enchanters are strong. I think it makes the game kind of boring. I prefer like the engage heavy style. You get tanks really like jumping and starting team fights. I like that in like a split heavy style. I do not like when you just have a Twitch who is unkillable in the back line, one-shotting your team. Pretty frustrating, I think. Glowing Moat. Alright. No Kimtech Putrefier. That item sucked anyway. No Chalice of Harmony. Dawn Core. Bandglass Mirror times 2. Gives 40 AP, 20 ability hits, 150 mana. 3% heal and shield power, and 5 ability power per 100% of base magic regen, or mana regen. And gain 18 summoner spell haste. That's pretty cool. I think that's important. It's good for engage. It's good for peeling. I don't know. This will just help you make plays, I think. Probably going to be, it definitely says enchanter, but I think someone like Rakan could still get use out of this. Someone like Alistar could potentially get use out of it. Even if you're not really using this, the summoner spell haste 18 seems pretty good. Echoes of Helia is a little cheaper now with more AP and ability haste. You're getting a soul shard up to a maximum of 3 instead of 2. Healing or shielding consumes all and restores 20 health instead of 20 to 80 per shard. And deals 55 magic instead of 30 to 180 per shard to the nearest champion. And remove the distance passive. This sounds weaker. Even with the extra AP and haste, I think this is weaker. Milio might still build it, but I don't think that's going to build a lot. Staff Flowing Water, 2300. More AP, more mana regen. Helps with that we looked at a minute ago. Ability haste, no more move speed on it. Healing or shielding, except for you, grants you, excluding the user, grants you and them 30 to 45 ability power and 20 ability haste for 4 seconds. That's what it doesn't stack on you twice. Okay. So now gives 30 instead of 30 to 45 and 10% movement speed, no ability haste. Ardent Censer, a little bit more expensive, a lot more ability power, 15 more ability power, 50% more mana regen, 15 ability haste, 5% to 8% bonus move speed, healing or shielding, against 25 instead of 20, and 20 bonus magic damage instead of 15 bonus magic damage. I like Ardent Censer a lot more now. I think this feels pretty powerful. This can be good for the Soraka and the Lulu. Doran's Blade has a life steal again. I think that's smart. Let it be on the auto attacks and not the abilities. The whole point of Doran's Blade, I think, was for auto attackers. Doran's Ring gives you more mana per second and gain 45% of health if you can't gain mana. Same as it was. Instead of if you damage a champion, you're getting more back, which kind of said let's trade a lot more if we want to keep our mana up. It's saying, hey, we can be a little passive about it, especially if your spells are for clearing waves and not for hitting champions, if you're not trading a lot. Perfect Timing. Rune has been removed and replaced with Triple Tonic. Okay, because this is because they got rid of Stopwatch. Level 3, gain an Elixir of Avarice, which gives 5 true damage on hit to minions for 60 seconds. After, get 40 gold. Level 6, gain elixir of force. 20 adaptive force for 60 seconds. And these are elixirs, which means they're activatable. So you're going to maybe use this as a jungler because it's going to give you the extra gold early. Use it as a support probably. Other rules I'm sure too, but you're going to use it before a fight. 20 adaptive force before fight, solid. Level 9 elixir of skill, gain a skill point. Doesn't grant a level or modify the rules around adding skill points into abilities, but you get a skill point earlier, so you max your skills at level 17 instead of level 18. Wow. Hit level 11. Not the stats, but the ult upgrade a level earlier. That's probably really good. I would imagine this is extremely good. Towers have been fragile for a while. With the addition of more tower damage, we want to give them more durability, so it's easier to protect. Adding adjusting the backdoor bonus to be more potent. Okay, it also apply true damage rather than entirely nullifying it, so it's consistent. Inner health has 4,000 more. Inhibitor has 200 more. Sorry, 400 more, 200 more. Nexus 300 more. Reduces true damage to towers rather than nullifying it with the backdoor bonus by 80%. Okay, so that people aren't just running back and one-shotting towers. Maybe that helps with the Scion, max health, hold breaker, demolish procs. I don't know. Alongside the launch of the new season, we'll be making some behind-the-scene changes. So narrowing the Emerald tier. It's doing good spreading out the ladder, but this range of skill with an Emerald is too wide for making Emerald smaller. Should also help to correct instances of players being Emerald rank and above and receiving more LP per loss than win. I actually have been dealing with that, so I understand. I think it's a good change. Visible rank differences. While promoting ranks was easier in 23, there weren't any adjustments to demotions, which led to players having much higher visible ranks than their actual MMR. Demoting has been made easier to avoid situations where you are plat but silver MMR. That's, I assume, like the demotion shield. Made adjustments to matchmaking so the range visible ranks with a lot of your tighter, so you're not playing so many people that are widely apart, big gaps in MMR. LP gains from plus or minus 25 from last year has done a good job, which we're happy with, but it's not sustainable in Emerald and above where the breadth of skill is higher. So at Emerald and above, it's going to be 20 per game-ish. And placements. Okay. We have fist bumps now. All right, that's fun. Interesting. Activate an emote, someone else hits it, and they all fist bump. Cool. Fun. New music. All right. There are zones, so different music in different locations. That's pretty cool. Topside River, that has unique, but they're going to do some more. Music will evolve as new objectives spawn. Neat. Changes with your actions. Okay. So action when you're fighting Grubbies, Rift Herald, and Baron for the moment. In-game quest for champions with sunglasses taking one less damage and whatnot. We're going to add some more. Cool. So the Hoi and Gen 1, I just learned about that. Must be able to kill each other using the ults. Fishing in the Lavender Sea, Belveth and Jax. Okay, Bad Blood. These are going to be cool. They're going to be fun in-game. ARAM changes aren't being made yet. And then progression. Alright, the rest of this I'm not too worried about looking into. I was mostly interested in going through the actual Summoner's Rift changes. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end my video, but thank you everyone for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Again, leave a like and a subscribe if you enjoyed this content, if you want to see more. See you guys.